The NBA obviously runs supreme in the basketball world, but the EuroLeague is the second highest professional basketball league on the planet. Some people may disagree with that take, but I think the level of play on the court speaks for itself. These are the best professional teams from all across the continent, made up of the best players from Europe, as well as a good majority of the best former NBA talent not currently on the team. Plenty of NBA players historically have flopped out of America, then re-established themselves here before either returning stateside or just opting to spend their career playing ball in Europe. Life here is often described as more pleasant than that in the NBA. There are no trades, so players don't have to worry about uprooting their families at a moment's notice. There are fewer games even between two simultaneous leagues, and they are more spaced out, so their bodies have more time to recover. And of course, the fans here absolutely adore their home teams. Few places in American basketball rival the atmosphere of a EuroLeague competition. Americans can't just show up and expect to have success in Europe. Plenty of them try and fail and have to return to focus either on the G League or to a lesser international league like the CBA, for example. The players who have the most success here are definitely on NBA radars. Today I wanted to talk about 5 former NBA players who are off to exceptional starts in the EuroLeague. I will also explain why I think they have a good shot to return to the NBA if they so choose, and I'll let you know what's on the line for them right now. Before we dive in, please like the video as it helps me out a lot more than I think you guys realize. Now, let us get started. The first guy I wanted to highlight has to be Facundo Campazzo, currently orchestrating Real Madrid. You probably know the story of Campazzo's NBA career pretty well. He was an undersized point guard at only 5'10" who shot an unremarkable 32% from deep over a 3-year, 138-game run. He was feisty on the defensive end, had a few dazzling passes, and did a pretty good job handling the ball. But his shortcomings were too profound, and as a result, he is currently playing in Europe. With Real Madrid, Campazzo has looked like a point god. He is handling the ball like a true point guard, running plenty of pick and rolls, nailing impressive passes to his teammates to set up easy shots, and he himself has taken a major step forward with his shooting efficiencies. This year, through only a handful of games in the EuroLeague, Campazzo is putting up 13 points per game with a scary good 50% outside shot, along with 8 assists a night, which ranks him second in the league. And he is still managing to be a pest on the defensive end, resulting in an impressive player efficiency rating of 25. I think the biggest boost to unlocking Campazzo's game in Europe has been an increased usage rate, as in the NBA, he often had to share the court with guys like Nikola Mirotic or Jamal Murray, and then later on Luka Doncic. For good reason, those guys would do most of the ball handling any given possession, which forced Campazzo into an off-ball role, which he is not well suited for. During the 2021 NBA season with Denver, Campazzo had his biggest role in the NBA, but his usage rate of 14% ranked him only 45th out of 47 guards who played as much as he did. He was never going to have success in the NBA being used like he was. Now with Real Madrid, that number is up to 21%. Obviously, I'm not going to pretend that the talent level who Campazzo is going up against right now on a nightly basis is as good as the guys he was playing in the NBA. So his stats would not just translate over if he were to switch teams tomorrow. But there are plenty of backup point guards in the NBA right now who Campazzo is better than. No ifs, ands, or buts about that. Remember, a good chunk of NBA rosters are used on young players who have good measurables and athleticism, but they are just getting a trial run on an NBA team for a year or two. Campazzo does not have the ceiling the NBA teams are hoping their young guards have. But most of those young guards will not work out, and they will end up overseas, and they probably will get cooked by Campazzo on a nightly basis in the EuroLeague for years to come. Another point guard who had even more opportunities in the NBA before winding up abroad was Shabazz Napier, who was actually a first-round draft pick a decade ago, way back in 2014, which makes me feel kinda old. Napier made a lot of noise his rookie year in the league, playing alongside perennial All-Stars Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He had plenty of highlight plays that wound up on ESPN, but he did not manage to produce enough to warrant hanging around Miami for long. Being an undersized point guard at only 6 feet tall, he was quick and athletic, but not by NBA standards. Napier needed to be as efficient as possible while providing maximum effort, especially on the defensive end, to justify being on the floor. And like Campazzo, he had better teammates around him who demanded the ball. Therefore, he was often being used as a two-guard, which made his slight frame even more glaring. As a result, Napier struggled to provide value on an NBA court. His inside-the-arc scoring was never very good, his long-range shooting ranged from poor to average, and his defense was never as good as people had hoped. By 2020, he had played his last NBA game. Then rather than playing for pennies in the G League in front of chairs, he opted to take his talents to Europe and has become a long-standing star in the EuroLeague. This year with Bayern Munich, Napier playing in a combo guard role has looked as good as anyone could have hoped. He is producing 16 a night with a terrific 45% long ball to go along with 3 assists and 1.3 steals per game, which is good enough to rank him 6th in the entire EuroLeague. He is a bit streaky, so we will have to wait and see how his numbers will look over a longer sample size, but at least thus far, Munich must be very happy with their signing as they sit with a good 4-2 record overall. But believe it or not, Napier is not even the best former NBA product on his team. He's not even the best former NBA product in the guard positions on his team. Carson Edwards is absolutely dominating the EuroLeague right now. The 26-year-old, who only stands 5'11", has transformed his body and improved his game mightily. His NBA career was a brief 3 years, 72 games, mostly garbage time. It is nearly impossible to establish yourself and build rhythm with such infrequent and short bursts of court time. Even with Bayern Munich, he initially was coming off the bench and playing a lesser role, but in the lesser role proved himself worthy of starter minutes and has since been moved into the starting lineup alongside Napier. Edwards has become the team's go-to creator. His usage rate of 33% proves that. It is the second highest in all of the EuroLeague right now. Currently, Edwards leads the entire league in scoring at a staggering 21 a night. And remember, the games are 8 minutes shorter than the NBA game, and the pace of play is slower. What is even more impressive to me, though, is how well he has been scoring the ball inside the arc. Remember, Edwards is only 5'11". Napier and Campazzo make their money as shooters, but Edwards doesn't care who the heck is in front of him. He is as quick and strong as anyone in the league. His 60% two-point shot is otherworldly for someone of his stature. His three-point shot has been a little shaky, only around 33%, so if he can get that to fall at a higher clip, the sky truly does become the limit for he and the Munich team. They are real threats this year to win it all, and I hope next summer we get to see Edwards get another shot in the NBA. He would be a backup point guard improvement to a lot of teams right now. Moving up a weight class, it has been a long time since anyone in NBA conversations has brought up Nikola Mirotic. The former NBA power forward had a long and very successful NBA career spanning 5 years and 319 games. He averaged 12 points a night through his time in the NBA, making his money as one of the better floor spacing, strong power forwards the league had. It was a shock when he decided that he was going to take his career back to Europe in 2019. He had NBA offers and guaranteed minutes on the table, but it turns out he was going to make way more money in Europe, and he simply just wanted to go back to his home region, which is perfectly understandable. We are a few years down the line, and he remains one of EuroLeague's best power forwards. Controversially switching teams from Barcelona to Milan last year, Mirotic is having another fantastic season. He is putting up 16 points a night while knocking down 45% of his long shots. He is also rebounding well, grabbing 6 a night, and he is switchable on defense, pretty much holding his own, guarding some guards but all the way up to big men. Their team is not doing so hot currently, sitting at 1-5 as of me preparing this video, but a lot can change in very little time in a league that does not reward tanking. Every team is fighting for victories every week all season long. Mirotic and Milan should not be counted out. And for the final player I wanted to highlight today, I'm not sure he's actually a realistic threat to be brought back to the NBA, but I wanted to shout out Real Madrid's big man Edy Tavares. The 7'2" native of Cape Verde had a very brief NBA stint between 2016 and 17, only getting 13 games of action. Not long after being let go, he took his talents to Europe and has been manning the middle for Real Madrid for now 8 straight years, which is pretty rare for anyone in any pro league. Tavares is not the quickest center out there. He doesn't blow you away with his creation ability, he isn't spacing the floor, and he doesn't defend out of the perimeter very well, but he still has managed to be one of the EuroLeague's best big men for a very long time. He has quick, massive hands, he understands how and when to rotate to protect the rim from the weak side, and he does a great job being an immovable object in the half-court one-on-one set. And of course, he is a dunking machine a la Boban Marjanovic. Tavares essentially has mastered the super big man playstyle, which is seen so rarely in the modern professional game. I realize it is not likely that we will really ever get a second look at him in the NBA, as the American playstyle has become so fast and involves such a spaced out floor, but in the European game, he has a major role. I have been a fan of his for a while, and I hope we can see him play for years to come. Thank you guys for watching the video all the way to the end. Which of these guys do you think has the best shot at getting a call back from the NBA, or who else in the EuroLeague right now have you been impressed by and think someday we might see stateside? I really do appreciate reading your comments, even if you're just making fun of me and my takes. Please subscribe for more future basketball content. I will see you all next time.